Giants fans, welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we have a big show on tap for you guys. We're going to talk about the love fest that Pro Football Focus has been having over Daniel Jones. We're also going to talk about Sterling Shepard. Is he underrated or overrated as a player in the NFL? And is the Week 3 matchup coming up against the Atlanta Falcons, is that a must-win game for the New York Giants? We'll get all into that in just 1 second. Daniel Jones, he was named Pro Football Focus's Offensive Player of the Week for Week 2 of the 2021 NFL season. In that Week 2 game against the Washington football team, he went 22 for 32, 249 passing yards through the air, 95 rushing yards, and 2 total touchdowns. One of the best games of Daniel Jones' career so far. And one thing I like, he didn't turn the ball over at all in Week 2. In Week 1, he did fumble against the Denver Broncos, a self-inflicted wound, but only 1 turnover so far through Daniel Jones' 2021 NFL season. And that is something every New York Giants fan should be happy about. Jones, he's had a case of the turnover bug, and he is finally showing that he has made steps and has been able to improve on that. Before we get into more about what PFF has said about Daniel Jones, and we'll look at some stats through the 2021 NFL season so far, I want you guys to be the judge. Grade Daniel Jones' performances through 2 weeks. A, B, C, D, or F. Everybody's been to school. We know what those letters mean. But go down in the comments and grade Jones's performances so far through the 2021 NFL season. Pro Football Focus, they had Daniel Jones as the Offensive Player of the Week. They also had him as a part of the first team all offense, obviously. And they said this: he led all quarterbacks in Week 2 in total completions on passes thrown 10 or more yards downfield with 11, and even that could have been more, as 2 more of his downfield throws were dropped. The third-year quarterback also led the position in positively graded throws and recorded the week's lowest negatively graded throw rate. An impressive feat, given that he was under pressure on 44.7% of his dropbacks. He also showed off the impact he can make in the running game with 3 runs of 10-plus yards, tying Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts for the most of the week. The Duke product earned the first 90-plus single-game grade, 91.3, of his NFL career. These are what Jones's numbers look like through 2 games of the 2021 NFL season. A 63.8 completion percentage, 516 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and a QB rating of 96.0. He's averaging 258 yards per game, and I've liked what I've seen from Daniel Jones so far, and so has Pro Football Focus. This is Pro Football Focus's top 5 passing grades throughout everybody in the NFL and through 2 weeks of the NFL season. Tom Brady, number 1, 91.8, and our guy, Danny Dimes, number 2, 85.4. Then Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, and Kirk Cousins. Anytime you are mentioned in the same breath as Tom Brady, you have to be doing something right, and that's what Daniel Jones has done so far. They also put out their top 5 overall grades. I'm not really sure how Daniel Jones falls in his grade, because once you take in his passing grade and you average it out and pull in his rushing grade, I would think he would still be a part of this top 5, but he falls at number 6 with an 83.8 grade, and these are the 5 guys above him: Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, and Kyler Murray. Daniel Jones, he has played really, really well so far in the NFL season, and I'm going to give him his grade. I asked you guys earlier, a solid B. The thing I'm most happy about is that he's only turned the ball over once throughout 2 games. And I think that was a self-inflicted wound. That wasn't one of those plays where Daniel Jones, he got hit from the back and he fumbled the ball and coughed it up. This was a run where he tucked the ball and he tried to pick up a first down, which I like the guts, but you got to slide. So if Daniel Jones can continue to play the way he has, I think the talks of the Giants selecting a quarterback in the upcoming draft may be silenced. Sterling Shepard, he has had a great start to the NFL season so far for the Giants through 2 games. And Pro Football Focus, they ranked him as the 18th receiver through 2 games, which I think is a little low and kind of disrespectful. Sterling Shepard, so far through 2 games, has put up some monster numbers. 16 grabs, 207 yards, almost 13 yards a catch, and he did have that long touchdown catch against the Denver Broncos in Week 1 on Patrick Surtain. And if you're wondering, why do I think that was disrespectful? Because look at the graphic on screen right now. These are where his stats rank amongst the rest of the receivers in the NFL. Receptions, tied for first, 16 grabs. Receiving yards, he has the 7th most receiving yards in the NFL at 207. He's tied for the most 20-plus yard catches at he's tied for 7th with 3 of those grabs, and he has converted 10 first downs, which is tied for 6th in the NFL. Sterling Shepard, he has moved back into the slot this year and has absolutely been dominant. This is a guy that when he stayed healthy, he has been able to produce at an extremely high clip. So I want to know what you guys have to say. Be honest. Is Sterling Shepard underrated across the NFL? If you think he is, go down and type your Y's for yes. And if you think, he's not really underrated, he's kind of had the injury bug bite him a couple times in the past couple years, go down and type your N for no. For me, I'm going to go down and type my Y's for yes because I believe Sterling Shepard is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And when it comes to being a slot receiver, I think he is a top 5, top 10 guy. This guy produces every single week for the New York Giants, and the only thing that has slowed him down through his NFL career has been the injury bug. If Shepard can stay healthy for 16 or 17 games this year, I think it is a lock that he will have over 100 grabs. And that is kind of the century mark for all receivers. Anytime you have over 100 catches in a season, you are up for all pro looks and all pro nods. So if Sterling Shepard can stay healthy, I think that's where he'll fall in line. Some more New York Giants receiver news. Everyone's been talking about it since the Thursday night football game against the Washington football team. There was a video that went viral of Kenny Golladay yelling in the direction of Daniel Jones, but he cleared the air today and said this when he was asked about it by the New York Giants media team. I let the emotions get the best of me. Pretty much just me talking to JG, Jason Garrett, a little bit. That's 2 competitive guys right there. More so just me wanting to do anything I can. Not so much give me the ball more, though. A division game, wanted to leave that spot with a win. I liked seeing Kenny Golladay voice some frustrations because so far he has not been utilized in the way he has needed to be for this Giants offense to be effective. Anytime you pay a receiver $72 million in free agency, you need that guy to be your number 1 wide receiver, and that's been Sterling Shepard so far. Last week against Washington, only 3 grabs for 38 yards. He did have some drops and some contested catch situations, and I think he will bounce back from that. But it's good to know that him and Daniel Jones are on the same page. Earlier in the season and earlier in the offseason, they worked together to get on the same page and build chemistry. So you love to see that as a New York Giants fan. So I would calm down. I'm not worried about it at all. I think he'll bounce back, and I think Week 3 could be a big game for Kenny G. If you guys want to stay up to date on absolutely everything surrounding the New York Giants, go down and hit that big red button, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. We're pushing out content almost daily around the latest news and rumors surrounding your beloved New York Giants. So if you want videos on the latest news, rumors, trade rumors, predictions, game previews, game recaps, go down and hit that big red button and subscribe. Week 3 versus the Atlanta Falcons. The New York Giants will be hosting the Falcons. Both teams are 0-2, which sets up a must-win game for both teams. I want to read this stat for you guys real quick. For you guys. It is that from 2009 to 2019, if you start 0-3, you have a 6% chance to make the playoffs. Only one team has ever done that since 2009, and that is the 2018 Texans. They went 0-3 and went on to make the playoffs. But if you start 1-2, which I expect the Giants to do this week, getting the win over the Atlanta Falcons, they have a 31% chance to make the playoffs. So this is absolutely a must-win game, and it is so because the Giants' next 5 games, they get extremely tough. You're going to have to travel to the New Orleans Saints and take them on in what seems to be like it will be at the Superdome. always a hostile environment. And Jameis Winston, who knows if he'll be on fire or ice cold that game. So that is always a tough spot to play. Then you'll have to travel to Dallas to take on your divisional rival. Those games are always close. They can go either way. Then the Los Angeles Rams, a team that I have been extremely interested by, and a team that I'm high on. I think Matt Stafford is going to be the king to solve that puzzle in Los Angeles, and he's a guy that I'm worried about that could take advantage of this New York Giants defense. Then you have to play the Carolina Panthers. That's a must-win game as well, because when you're looking at these games right there, there's a lot of question marks, but you should be able to take advantage of Sam Darnold, and this Giants offense should be able to put points up against the Carolina Panthers. And then you play the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a tough one. Patrick Mahomes, everybody knows what he is capable of. One of the best QBs to ever touch a football. That'll be tough. So winning this upcoming game against the Atlanta Falcons is a must-win, because this schedule does not get any easier as the season goes on. But I want to know what you guys have to say. This show's not all about me. It's about interaction between me and you. So get down in the comments and be active for me, fellas. I'll be down there interacting with you. Is this game a must-win? If you think it is, go down in the comments and type your 1 for yes, or if you don't, go down and type your 0 for no. If you guys want to hit me up, follow me on Twitter at Marshall Green. I'm putting out takes every single day about the New York Giants, and these next 5 people that follow me on Twitter, I will give you a shout out on the show. So follow me and send me a DM so I know you're from this video, and I will make sure to shout out the next 5 people that follow me on Twitter. And let's go. Let's go get a W this week against the Atlanta Falcons.